Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to both of you and your new positions. Ms. Turner, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to visit with you in my office. I really appreciated that, and I think we have the same focus, which is when the traditional market is available, when interest rates are low, and individuals can afford to literally get a mortgage, and when the opportunities are available so that the entryway to getting that mortgage rate is simplified and brought down, more people can, through the traditional markets, actually have that home ownership. And I personally believe that equity that is in that home should be with that homeowner and not with the federal government. So I really do like the idea of having the individual have that home ownership opportunity. And I just like your thoughts for just a minute, and I don't need to push it too far, but isn't that really what this is all about, is allowing individuals the ability to gain equity in their home and for them to have that value rather than simply paying rent through a federal program? Wouldn't it be much better to have the private sector loaning the money and an individual actually getting equity in that home?
Sir, and thank you, Senator Rounds. It was good to meet and visit with you. And, you know, for most Americans, their home is the largest investment that they have, and that's how they begin to build generational wealth. I know that was like for me and my family growing up and even now. And so, yes, I believe that having that equity in their home should be available to that homeowner because that's how most families begin to grow wealth and achieve the American dream.
You know, I think that's one of the reasons why President Trump was elected, was to bring down that cost of interest on a home so that more people can get into that. And I think that's a really important part is that, you know, once you get that equity in that home, now you have other opportunities. And it's a whole lot easier if that individual has that opportunity in the first place. And so I think it's a step in the right direction. At the same time, we have areas such as on our Native American reservations in South Dakota where the challenge is it's tribal trust land. Right. You know, we've got about 15% of our population is Native American. And for them to be able to have a home, it means in a rural area that we've got to have access to people that understand how you put a mortgage on a home which is located on tribal trust. And I would just ask for your commitment to working with us to make that as simple as possible in those rural areas.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate your care for your constituents, and particularly those in tribal lands. And I do commit to working with you and also visiting so that we can go visit those leaders at the tribal lands and see how we can make it the most efficient and affordable for them and their families.
Thank you, and I really appreciate that, and I'm going to hold you to that. I think that would be really good. And if you really want to take poverty out in some of our more rural areas, start with providing an opportunity for home ownership on our reservations, and it'll make a huge difference.
Yes, sir.
And we were in our office, we talked about a number of items, but one of those items that we talked about was trying to cut the red tape and making federal programs work more effectively and efficiently. As a former state legislator, you undoubtedly understand the challenges and the costs associated with excessive federal overreach. At a time when there is a growing demand for additional housing units, there's no question about that, federal regulations like Davis-Bacon, environmental review, Build America, Buy America, and new energy standards are slowing the construction process and increasing costs nationwide, including on tribal lands. Breaking down some of this bureaucracy should be a part of the discussion as we try to incentivize housing development. My question for you is under your leadership, will the department make it a priority to review and adjust program regulations to match the level of risk based on the type of activity, the location, or the amount of federal funds involved?
Yes, sir. And what the goal, if confirmed by this committee, is to look at all the programs at HUD and take an account and take inventory and ask, you know, is this helping the mission of HUD or is it not? Is it helping to build more affordable housing or is it not? Is it combating the homelessness crisis or is it not? And so, yes, sir, I do make that commitment.
Thank you. And one last question. Just during our meeting, we also discussed the challenges with HUD's Section 202 program in South Dakota, and I think this will eventually be a problem nationwide. And so the need for greater flexibility to adapt to changes in housing markets, service industries, and tenant populations, particularly in rural communities, where we may have to make some modifications to existing 202 programs. I would just ask for your commitment to work with us to be able to resolve some of these issues which are front and center today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.